Hello people of the earth and welcome back to QuickSaveTV. My name is Mike and this particular video is a recording of a very low elo play. Not even elo actually, it's not even 30 level game. I just wanted to make something League of Legends related, and basically I wanted to talk through some of the things that I was making at the bot lane with the Draven and Annie. Okay, that's gonna be our partner for this match against Sivir Nidalee, okay? I'm going to talk specifically about what I'm doing and stuff, and this game is really bananas. In team fights especially, right? Except for some of the things. I think it will be really valuable educationally, but also it will be pretty cool to just, to start off with something interesting. So I just wanted to do that. Okay, so in this game, what I'm starting doing is actually, I just buy items and I run straight to the enemy jungle because I like doing that. There is a risk when doing that because you see the enemy goes bananas trying to kill me. I don't really care too much about that because they can't really kill me because at this level, it's like level 18, and we're talking like level 10 to 20, right, to 25. There is no chance that the enemy will actually mount any significant resistance, and Kha'Zix has been a nice guy. He just blocks a spear so that I can recall safely to base. Once I recall safely to base, I just go to my wave, okay, and I already have one stack, so it's definitely worth the effort, okay. We don't care about what's enemy doing, we care about what's happening on the lane. As you come to the lane, I instantly start pushing the wave, because that's exactly what I like to be doing. As Draven, you really like to get, as actually any AD carry, you like to get the level 2 as early as possible. At the same time, Draven is actually not as strong as most AD carries, both at level 1 and at level 2. He's not particularly powerful, because he needs time to scale up with his Q, etc, etc. And at early levels, he's not so powerful, okay? Here's what happens is the Sivir, let me just roll it back for a moment. What happens here is Sivir makes a mistake for no reason, okay? Annie already has a stun charge with W, which is a really good thing to do as Annie. When you come to lane, before you come to lane, you charge your stun with a W, okay? And she basically had the stun ready, and then Sivir just catches the stun for no reason, okay? Annie just basically walks to her, she walks to her, and lands the stun. I sneak one axe, I sneak another axe, and pop barrier for no reason. I don't think she had to pop the barrier, but popping the barrier at this particular moment made it so that she didn't lose so much health in this, like in this trade. She also pops a potion, which is really good for us. Generally speaking, you don't want to get yourself in such a silly position that this Sivir was able to get. But then again, of course, Nidalee doesn't provide so much at the start of the game, especially at the bot lane as a support, because she's also a carry. She's not particularly effective at early levels, and because of that, we crush the lane even before the level 2 hits. When the level 2 hits, we're basically under turret, which is very bad spot for the enemy to be, especially at low levels, because you don't really have the runes to last hit effectively under the turret, which creates a whole variety of issues. On a side note, I'm being completely retarded. I catch too much harass. I get so much harass that I literally die before any fighting actually begins, right? This is really bad. As Draven, as any AD carry whatsoever, you want to try to avoid as much harass from the enemy as possible, unless you put back an even or greater amount of harass, okay? This is the general thought process about that, and as you can see, I'm getting crushed in here, okay? Now, in order to prevent this from happening, you have to dodge the attacks that enemies will try to attempt. In case of Sivir and Nidalee, there's two things that you need to dodge. The Q from Nidalee and the Q from Sivir, okay? They're really high damage attacks, and if you're capable of dodging them, you will be able to, I'm gonna pause it here, you will be able to stand in lane and try to trade efficiently. Now, what ends up happening here is Annie gets hurt a lot, and I'm going to show you what's ended up happening, right? Nidalee and Sivir, they smell blood and they're like, this Annie must die! And they try to kill her, but unfortunately the spear doesn't land. This spear, there was a... Let's put it this way, there was like... this particular spear, let's just roll back, let's talk about the risk analysis, okay? This particular spear from Nidalee had what? Had about 33% of landing, okay? There was a chance, not actually, I would even go as far as to say like 45%. The spear would go like that, okay? So if Annie would go straight or to the right, okay? Like this direction or straight, she would die. to the spear. If she would go there, there's like a 50% chance or 60% chance. There's a lot more area to go, okay, because the spear goes a little bit leftwards, okay. She will not die. There was a really low chance spear to hit, because that's why it was really high risk. Generally speaking, when you're taking a risk like this, you should be more confident about your possibility to land the spear. And what ends up happening, I start religiously to pummel at Nidalee. She only has about 350 health, okay. Actually, not even that. I think it's 250. So I throw an axe, and another axe, she heals, and I throw another axe. And as I catch my axes time and time and time again, I keep popping my W. Not because it's a smart thing to do, not because it was the most effective way to do that. If I would if I would work better at that, I would be able to save a lot of mana. But what I wanted to have is to constantly have the highest possible speed buff. I wanted her to not reach the bush and to run away using her passive. So, in other words, in my eyes, it was justified to burn all of my mana because I was banking on killing Nidalee, on not letting her reach the point where she would be able to flash over the wall. And I did. You see, I killed her. Then I turn around and I go back on Sivir. And because Sivir gets a little overextended and she has Ignite, she tries to ignite me, but she doesn't think it through again because she doesn't have any follow-up, right? She doesn't have her Q to follow up because she doesn't have any mana, and her basic damage is not going to be as high as my damage with Q because I keep spinning axes, right? So I turn around on Sivir and just basically kill both of them. So in a nutshell, let's just go back for a moment and talk through that. What ends up happening is, you know, Annie gets hurt, really sweet piece to get, but Draven is alive and he can deal a lot of damage to you. So it was a little bit silly from down. Again, it's a low level game, but this ends up happening a lot of times in the current Platinum, okay? Like, people do this stupid plays for no reason. You will see Annie do this play, you will see it in just a moment, okay? I just wanted to stress it out that you have to assess the risks of you actually getting the kill. It's not always about getting the return kill. For example, when the chance to get the return kill are extremely low, it's not always worth to try and risk everything in order to get it. Once I go home, I get the blood, the BF, okay? BF would be a great choice if I would have any lifesteal runes. I do not. That's why it's terrible, right? It's really nice to have this additional burst of damage, but the inherent problem with the blood, with the BF, okay, without any lifesteal, is that you're just damage, okay? Any mistake that you do is going to hurt you tremendously, and you're just going to vanish instantly from the face of the earth due to every mistake you make. So what I should be doing, I should carefully be playing it, not even pushing the lane actually, but I love to do that so I don't stop, okay? And trying to dodge as many skill shots as possible. By that, you know, trying to avoid as much poke damage as possible so that I stay on lane and present myself as a threat. If I wouldn't push the lane too hard, Annie would be able to make plays, okay, and try to stun them so that we will be able to kill them. Not to say that she played it perfectly, she could have played it a lot more aggressive, but because of her items that she had, she wouldn't be able to do that. I end up eating too much poke, because I don't have any sustain, it's just ridiculous. I cannot do anything on lane and I basically have to go back. And that's exactly what ends up happening. I go back, I pick up some vampiric scepter, okay, and go back to lane. Sivir was losing the lane, so she picked up a couple of Dorans, which is completely normal thing to do. Just don't sweat it, right? When you're losing the lane, it's totally fine to pick Dorans. Let's just take a look at Doran, okay? Doran is 80 health and 8 attack damage. And also, this is basically a 3% lifesteal before you reach 100 attack damage. Once you reach 100 attack damage and over that, 3% start being better than having the flat 3 health lifesteal from Doran. However, you have to remember that this item is very cheap. It's just 440 gold. It's really good to purchase before you reach 100 damage because your attack damage is very low. So she was losing the lane. She was like, okay, fuck it. You know, I cannot win right now, so I just want to survive. So she buys a Doran. That's totally normal. Don't sweat it. There is a huge merit in buying Dorans, and you should definitely do that when you feel like you need some extra edge when you're fighting against the enemy or losing the lane. It's totally normal. Here we end up taking some poke, we clean the wave. Again, I eat so much harass, but now I do not care because I'm Draven with lifesteal and level 6. I just literally, I don't care. I just like, I'm gonna lifesteal it. I'm not advocating that I should take this harass, but I really don't care too much. And what ends up happening here, I probably shouldn't skip through that. That's a very interesting point in the game. Sivir gets in a terrible position, and Annie gets a beautiful stun, okay? So what ends up happening, Sivir is a little too close, okay? Because she's trying to get some damage on me, I guess. Nidalee is too far away and she has no mana. This is a critical point to note, okay? Neither of them have mana, so they basically stay in for no reason, okay? That's a very risky thing they're doing right now because none of them has mana, neither of them has mana, and having no mana against enemy who just came back with a buy is a very bad thing to do. They should have went back long time ago and just bought something, because right now she has 956 gold. That could become a vampiric... No, this could have become... Yes, this could have become a vampiric scepter or a pickaxe. If it would be vampiric scepter, you could buy a lot of additional potions. If it would be a pickaxe, you could buy like 2 health potions and you would be totally fine on lane, right? But because they choose not to do that, Annie lands a stun, follows up with a W, I throw E immediately, and then I throw my ulti, okay? The correct play from me would be to actually keep my E to pop the shield, but I fucked it up a little bit. So I throw my ulti, one of the spins actually does not connect, but it's fine, the other one connects, and I finish her with a hit. But I see then the death incarnate, the fucking dog of doom, the gatekeeper of hell, the Cerberus from the lore of ancient Greece. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure if it's from ancient Greece. The fucking Warwick, okay? The asshole. He's just right behind me. He's like, well, swiggity swooty, I'm coming for that booty. And what ends up happening, right? I know that I'm gonna get fucked if I stay here. I'm literally gonna get raped. So what I do is I throw one last axe at Sivir, she dies, invisible axe flies back to me, and I flash under turret. Because I know that Warwick gonna ult me, because he's an asshole, right? That's what assholes do. And miraculously, his damage is not enough. I used a barrier that was redundant, because he would rape me anyway. If his damage was enough, he would rape me. He flashes away because he has absolutely no tankiness. He basically has a fucking Bilgewater Cutlass, okay? Actually, my in that light, my barrier was fine, now that I think about it. He Bilgewatered me, right? So I basically survived because of that. You cannot use your barrier while you're under infinite duress. So I was spamming the barrier like a madman, like, oh, please be enough. So I used my barrier once I leave the infinite duress, and it was enough to survive his damage. And then he also dies, right? Which is ridiculous. Let's just watch it again, because it's beautiful stuff. Okay, like, what we go here? Sivir goes in a bad position right now. Annie man's up. Annie man up. She throws a stun. I throw all the shit in the world. Kill her with the invisible axe, flash under the turret. Warwick gets fucked, Bilgewaters me, but the barrier is too strong! And he dies. I will probably have to edit it because it's really hype. Okay, so I go home and I buy some shit. So this is basically what ends up happening. In like, actually, to say the least, in order to avoid this disaster, the enemy team should have left back and bought. When you have like 900 gold, it's always a good amount of money to buy an item, because you have so many items that you can buy. Vampiric Scepter, Berserker Greaves, fucking pickaxe, right? You can buy a lot of potions and another Doran. You can buy a Doran and a sword. There's too many items that you can buy. There's absolutely no reason to stay on lane and risk everything for getting no advantage whatsoever, okay? And of course Annie could man up just a little bit, but she's doing alright. Now suddenly I turn the god mode on and start dodging everything for no reason. Right now when it doesn't matter and I have like a Bloodthirster and 15 million sustain, okay, I dodge mostly everything, okay, just give me a break, right? And so I just farm, and at this point in the game, the lane is kind of over, because for no reason they gave so many kills for me, and I was able to snowball this into getting the items, into getting, you know, Bloodthirster much faster than I should have. 10 minutes Bloodthirster is actually really good, ridiculously good, so... Here, another interesting moment. I just wanted to point it out. That's not something super important, but it's interesting, eh? So what ends up happening here is Nidalee gets a little bit overexposed, okay? She all in, no, not actually even all-ins us. She attacks us, okay? And we start putting damage back onto her, okay? She jumps in to get some CS. Instantly we go in on her, Annie and me, right? We throw all kinds of stuff and I throw my ulti. And the huge mistake that I've done was my ulti. I throw my ulti a little bit sideways from where she was. And she basically sidesteps it, right? This was ridiculously bad for me. Like, if only I would spin it, you know, not through here, but a little bit to the right, to the tower, to the place where she would not be able to escape, that I would secure another kill. So this is always important, you know, this strength in detail. You know, you have to make sure that the ultis you throw, the global ultis especially, that they land properly. Annie is going bananas for no reason. She's like, well, it's fine, dude. I got a Volibear to tank. She goes under the enemy turret, tries to kill them, but the damage is not enough, and she dies. Okay, that's not what you want to be doing. Okay. And after this, basically, what ends up happening is I just farm for no reason, okay? I should have started team fighting with my team, but my team was like, well, I was like, well, 8-3, what's the worst thing that can happen? And actually, a lot of bad things can happen, right? My team goes bananas and starts dying all over the map for no fucking reason. They literally die everywhere all the time for no reason, and I realized we got a team fight. Enemy evens up the score, which is ridiculous. Like, how did this fucking happen, dude? We were leading so hard. I'm taking the dragon because I'm a new jungler. And then we're gonna fight soonish. We're gonna fight real soon, okay? Our guys, the infamous Kha'Zix traps, okay? Annie is here. She's trying to bait the Warwick. Warwick is like, I have infinite dress. Annie is like, oh my god, I'm so insecure in this particular position. Whatever will I be able to do if you all in me? And Kha'Zix is like, yes. Yes, please all in here. Please, yes. Yes, really, what's the worst thing that can happen? And, you know, nothing happens. We come to the mid lane. It's very boring here. It's also very risky, because if Warwick would have balls, I would die instantly. I don't, because he's really boring. I use my ulti to push the wave at the bottom. Nothing particularly exciting happening. Babri booby, we just get some farm. We buy the static shiv and the green enchantment on bots, because green enchantment is really overpowered on AD carry due to the reasons I will state right now. In essence, it is really strong because most bruisers in the game are faster than you are. Not only are they faster than you are, but they also have abilities which allow them to catch up with you. Now, what that means for you as an AD carry, it's very important for you to have higher movement speed. Because having higher movement speed is one of the essential things that you can do in order to bolster your survivability. The higher you move around, the more chances that you will not fucking die, okay? So, in my opinion, Alacrity is one of the critical enchantments that you can get. And because I was really fat, I was like, well, I'll get Alacrity, okay? I got the static shift because static shift is really strong at this particular stage in the game when no enemies have significant amount of magic resist except for enemy Lee, which doesn't even matter to me. I don't care about that too much. Static shift allows you to burst enemies really good and allows you to wave clear better as Draven, because you don't particularly have any wave clear yourself. You're single target damage and it's not really helpful when you have to wave clear. And realizing that we have to team fight, I call my team to team fight, despite the fact that we're actually really ahead in terms of gold. That's because of the farm, mostly, okay? And because of the dragon gold. We are on even kills, and obviously enemies, you know, really excited about this opportunity because they want to come back into this game. So I get the red buff, because red buff is really good for an AD carry, especially an AD carry that is not mobile, okay? In other words, Draven, Jinx, Varus, stuff like that, so that you can actually peel for yourself and have this additional slow effect. So you basically become a semi-Ashe, okay? And being semi-Ashe is kind of cool. Being full Ashe is completely ridiculous. Okay, and what's ended up happening here? Okay, we just try to force the fight, okay? And the way it happens in lower elos is the following, right? You don't actually try to fight for strategical positions, you push mid, okay? You know why? Because that's the easiest, least strategical thing you can ever say. You're like, guys, group mid. You know why? Because I want a team fight, okay? There's no particular reason behind this. So we're just like, well, fuck it, let's go mid. You want mid, let's go mid. And I see Sivir exposed. And here's the thing, right? I'm just gonna say it right away before I start doing my bananas business, right? There's a portion of risk associated with what I'm going to do right now, but I felt at the moment that the risk was justified, so I'm going to do it anyway. However, you have to always keep in mind when you're doing crazy plays, you have to keep in mind what is the risk factor, right? How risky is this to do something like this? So I end up all in here. I just fucking killer Warwick flash ulti. The reaction time is perfect. It was like half a second. I survived because Nidalee spear doesn't land. We actually managed to almost kill Warwick. I did not have the vision of Zed, but once I've seen Zed, I immediately realized that he all-in me with the death mark, because that's the only thing Zeds do. They're like, ha ha ha, get fucked, peasant, and they all-in you with the death mark. So what you do against Zed is you expect the death mark and you just flash the fuck away to some position on the map that he will not be able to reach you easily and fuck you. My flash allowed me to dodge most of the damage he would be able to put with the death mark, and he would be able to put, I would say, plenty. He would be able to put enough to kill me, let's put it this way, despite his build being not finished and kind of atrocious at this point in the game. And I flash away, use the barrier, the death mark damage was not enough, shouldn't even barrier that. Nidalee tries to kill me, I kinda kite because I'm Ashe now with the red buff. Manage to kill Nidalee and then keep rejoining to my team basically, trying to help them a little bit. I get a little bit pussy, for no reason, trying to kill steal, and it's not possible because Kha'Zix is an asshole. Kha'Zix must secure every kill ever in the world. The enemy team realizes that I'm a little bit too fat, the game is over, GG, and they surrender. So, the purpose of this video is to keep me awake, first of all, to give you something to watch, second, and third, to discuss some of the things that happened in this game. I felt it was kind of exciting, and some of the things that you could learn from. This is not particularly high quality video, but I think you could learn something from that. If you've enjoyed this video and my commentary, please do not forget to put a like on this video and favorite it. Have a greatest day, have fun in League of Legends, and stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.